If you know we can't afford Ruth Chris, but you want to go out, what do you say?
Well, let's do something else.
That's it. Hey, babe, you want to go out to eat? Let me know. Wherever you want to go, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Right? Now, women today have gotten into this process of thinking, I ain't got to cow down or bow down to no man, you know.
That is true.
But what does that mean? What does that mean? Women today are thinking, I make more than him, I don't need no man. So let's listen to the verbiage and the energy that's being pushed in today's society. Mm-hmm. How is that possible? How wouldn't you need a man? How wouldn't you need a man?
Well, society tells women
they don't
need a man.
And I always encourage people, go study the founder of Cosmopolitan and see what she said in the interview about the whole Cosmopolitan movement and about pushing women into this narrative that they don't need a man, what that was all about. Mm-hmm. Had nothing to do with falling in love with yourself as a woman. This goes back to pushing you further away from nature. And the more that I can do that, the more I can disconnect you from the man. I mean, we're all living in today's society. I mean, do you think it's a more loving, wholesome society now? Or is it worse off now?
Well, it seems to be a little bit worse to me.
Right. And which narrative are we following? I don't need no man. Or not catering to your man. Right. So I like a submissive woman. And the moment people hear submissive, they automatically think it's like a trigger word because they created these trigger words for you.
Right.
Right. Now, if 4 thugs came through this door right now, do you want a sensitive man or do you want a man to jump in that's going to protect you?
Yes. Protect me.
Right. So it goes back to this thing, right? It goes back to these words. We all play a role. And that's what used to be taught. The sun can't be the moon can't be the sun.
Right.
They work together.
Right.
You know, so when we start thinking that we can cross roles, again, that's what leads into more problems in a relationship.
So then with being submissive, that's like you're telling me what to do all the time, and no matter what you say, I do it. So,
in martial arts, you have a flow in certain moves, right? You feel like you're in control. Anytime I want to take control, I just move a certain way and really just move you out the way. If someone's being submissive, who's really in control?
If someone is being submissive, who's in control? The one who's controlling them.
Is it?
That's the wrong answer?
There's no such thing as a right or wrong answer.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
But if someone's being submissive to you, right? How is that controlling them?
Oh, well, in that case, no. If they're being submissive, that's what they want to be.
Right, but even in the process of being submissive, right? Let me give you an example. So, we're driving someplace, right? And we pull up to have lunch or dinner, right? We get out, we start looking at the surroundings, and as your man, I says, nah, babe, this ain't the spot. Let's go, we're gonna hit another spot.
Right.
And you say, nah, I wanna eat here though. I wanna eat here. I wanna eat right here. I wanna eat here. And I'm telling you, nah, babe, this ain't the spot. So now we get into an argument, right? As a man, I already done sensed that this area is unsafe. Whether I've seen some kind of situation that I feel in a particular instance, I will not be able to protect you. So I'm telling you, let's roll, right? That is a form of submission where it's like, I trust you enough, like, all right, babe, let's go. I don't even have to ask why.
Right. That's
For whatever reason in that moment,
it.
I'm trusting your leadership to know.
Okay, yes.
This is not the place to be.
Right, okay, I see.
When you think submissive now, people think that women don't have a voice. Women don't have, any woman that I'm with, I always get her opinion because women are more intellectual. Right. Women are gonna think more emotional. Women are gonna think more connective, right? That is a very powerful tool to have. In some instincts though, it's not. If I roll up to a place and I already deem it unsafe, we need to roll, I don't need the intellectual mind there. The instinctual mind now comes into place.
Right.
This goes back to understanding your role. In that position, I'm telling you, let's go.
Right.
Later on, we can get to the intellectual level to find, okay, well, what other areas can we have possibly gone to or will go to in the future? So it just goes back to learning each other, knowing each other, and just knowing those particular roles.
Okay, so then suppose you're in a relationship with a man who wants you to be submissive, but he can't take care of you.
That's something that you would have to find out, going back to learning about self. Are you okay with that? Mm-hmm. Are you okay with being with the man who you feel cannot financially provide for you? Mm-hmm. That's something that you have to determine. Every woman that I've been with, on paper, always made more money than me. And I've never had an issue as far as them not being submissive. It was never like, well, I make more than you. You can't take care of me. You can't provide for me. They always fell into that role of being someone who connects with me, and I can still be the leader and the protector.
Okay.
So it just goes back to that particular woman. Right. You know, like, what does that mean to you when you say, well, he can't take care of you? What is taking care of you? Is taking care of you mean you don't got to pay no bills? Or is taking care of you knowing that if you sick, I'm going to hold you down? It's taking care of you, hey, listen, I got the luggage. It's taking care of you is every day I come home, I'm going to make love to you because I love you and I want to be with you.
But isn't that all of it?
It depends. Because it goes back to what you want.
Oh, what I want. That's
so
right.
So remember,
that's right.
I am big on not having a right or wrong answer in certain regards. It goes back to knowing what you want first. And once you know what you want, you decide what's a negotiable and what's a non-negotiable, and never negotiate your non-negotiables.
Yeah, you said that in the book.
Yes.
Never negotiate your non-negotiables.
Yes.
That's what you just said earlier about the motorcycle.
Yes. I've had some women that say, listen, I want to be with no man that's under 6 feet. And I'm like, I feel you. Don't negotiate that. Why would you? That's what you want. But in society, they'll tell you, nah, you can't be like that. You just gotta love a man for who he is. It's what you want. And once you figure out what you want, then everything else will fall into place because you're not negotiating what you want. Now, in the midst of that, can you possibly get what you want? Sometimes. If you say, listen, my non-negotiable is I want to be with a man, you got to make at least $100 million. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't. But if that's a non-negotiable, keep searching until you get it.
But what do you think about this? What do you think about, like, when you have the person that you want in your mind, and then you go someplace and you meet the person and you have like an immediate connection, or you felt something,
right?
And he or she is not what you wanted, but you feel this in your heart. I mean,
right.
What is that?
How do you know that it's not what you wanted?
Well, if I feel that connection,
right,
and if I wanted someone who is, as you just said, 6 feet or whatever,
right,
but this person is not that, but everything else is what I want. I mean, what is that?
It's a connection. Now, in that moment, you have to find out, is your 6 feet non-negotiable really a non-negotiable?
Yes.
So that's what you have to find out. There are certain negotiables, non-negotiables, right?
Right. Okay.
Now, if I'm feeling a connection, right?
Yes.
I might be feeling a sexual connection because that's nature, right?
Okay.
If I want a certain kind of woman and this person, whatever quality she have, one of them is all my non-negotiables.
Right.
You know, we might connect, and I'm not just talking about sexually, we might connect.
Right.
But my negotiables are my non-negotiables. Like, I will never be with a woman who's not okay with being submissive. I would never be with that. So even if I'm feeling this tingly spine and she's gorgeous and we're totally connecting, but she's like, I ain't never bringing you your plate. It's just not gonna work.
Okay.
Because that is a hard non-negotiable for me.
Okay. So what you're saying is like you bringing your plate is being served.
No, bringing me a plate is understanding that I love you enough that I'm going to connect with you and do all I can to provide, protect you. You love me enough in that moment to bring me a plate, not bringing me a plate, but showing that connection of love that I desire.
Okay. So then both of you are making each other happy.
Yes, because we understand what makes
us happy individually.
Yes. Which leads right into our card segment.
Okay.
So I wanted to do a card game that's going to also go with the book, right? It's going to connect with the book, right?
Right.
So the card breakdown is called Me, You, Us, right? And the whole idea is these cards ask you questions, right? Now the Me deck helps you learn about who you are what you want and all you desire. You're learning who you are, right? Once you learn about self, you're going to connect to the world a whole lot differently, right? The U deck is about your potential mate. Helps you establish a connection of compatibility with the potential man of your vision. And then the Us deck is both of those things combined. So now I know about myself, I know about you. Now can we actually come together? Helps provide the final stage of manifestation while creating and establishing the foundation needed for life, long love, and happiness. So by understanding that and knowing that you are compatible, then I think you can start to grow and connect and continue to grow as a couple. And also an individual. I always like that phrase. I would never be with a woman who says, you complete me. You know, I don't want to complete nobody. You know, I want you to come 100%, I'm coming 100%, and we're coming together to make a whole, a greater whole versus we're coming together half.
Right, because when someone says you complete me, what that is saying is that I'm not complete.
Yes.
Or I'm not worthy, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yes. So here, I want to read in the back of your book, you ask the questions, are you feeling frustrated in your relationship knowing you could be so much happier?
Yes.
So like when you're frustrated in a relationship, you're not really that happy.
Well, it all depends on what kind of frustration that is, right? So give me an example of why a woman would be frustrated in her relationship.
Oh, I would say it would be based on if I asked you to do something for me and you didn't do it.
Like what?
Well, if I needed to have a new car.
Okay. New car, like what?
And you said you was going to get it for me and then you don't get it.
Okay.
But you don't explain to me, I'm expecting it, and then you don't really explain to me to say I just couldn't do it.
Right. So now, why would a man say he's going to get you a car,
right,
and then don't get it?
Because he don't have the money.
Right.
So why wouldn't he just tell me I can't get that car for you because I don't have the money?
Because I want to get you that car. But the bigger question is this: if I am with somebody and we're at that stage where I can buy you a car or not buy you a car, then she should already have an idea of the financial situation, right? Any woman I've ever been with, I don't like finances, all right? I'm into creativity. I like film, I like photography, I like writing. So when I get money, I'm going to buy those and invest in those things. So I always took the money, gave it to my lady and said, you handle bills and everything else, because I knew that they were good at that, right? I wasn't, right? So if you already know the financial situation, you should know whether or not can we get this car? And I always think that it's a big thing to always keep the man in the position of leadership, because I do want to get you those things. So in the book, if you remember, I tell women never make statements, always put it in a question form, right?
Right.
So, hey, what's up, babe? So I was going over all the financials, right? Right now we have about $2,000 of expendable income. Right? If we take $300 and buy a new car, we'll still have $1,700 expendable income. We'll have a new car. We can do, you know, hey, you can go to your photography stuff now with ease if it's across state, et cetera, and I can have a dependable automobile. What do you think about that?
Oh, I would think that's cool.
Now, as a man, I'm asking you, what do you think about that?
I'd say, okay.
Would you like to be, the brother behind the camera, would you like to be asked a question, or would you like to be told what to do? So which one? Like when somebody said, we're gonna buy this car, or your woman asking you in a question form? Well, they explained everything and say, well, what do you think about that? Do you think that's good right now or not?
Yes.
Right. So if I ask you in that question form, I'm still putting you into a position of leadership, because at that moment I can say, that's a little much right now. What else do you think we can do? So it creates a conversation.
Right.
So most of the time I've learned when men say they're going to do something and don't do it, they really do want to do it. The question is how you present the question and the answer. This is another thing I tell women. And before we even finish, no, it's not fair. It's on the table. No, it's not fair. Everything I'm saying is not fair. Yes, you are catering to the man's MENGINE, but I will tell you this, and I will challenge anybody on this statement. Cater to your man's MENGINE and see how far do you get. You will always get what you want. Just cater to the MENGINE, because men are fueled through that MENGINE.
Okay, so then is the man going to be catering to the woman?
If you
mean
cater to
whatever-
that MENGINE and you let me know what you want, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. It's also very important that you are very clear on a woman what you want.
Right.
Most women don't speak straightforward. They talk in
Circles. They go
Circles.
around, yes.
versus telling me what you want.
And they don't do that. I would say we don't do that because we are afraid.
Right. But why would you be afraid?
Because if you love that person, maybe, you don't want to lose them, because if you express that, you know what I'm saying?
But this goes back to understanding who you are, understanding who your partner is, and now you know how to properly communicate with understanding. All this goes back to self, and all this goes back to that compatibility. I would never be afraid to present something to my connection that's going to benefit us. So you have to ask yourself, if you are afraid, why am I afraid to present this connection? Okay, why do I think that if I ask this question, I'm going to lose this person?
Yeah, he may get mad or something like that.
Right. Why would they get mad? This continually goes back into this question until you get your, why would they get mad? Why would they get mad at the question that I'm asking?
Right.
So you always keep going until you reach the surface level. Why do you think someone will get mad for a question that you're asking?
Right.
Why does that happen? And to me, that goes back to the compatibility factor, which goes back to knowing self. I always move within those two circles, knowing who you are and then finding somebody who's compatible with that. So I don't believe opposites attract. I never believe that. Opposites complement each other. You like to cook, I like to eat. You like taking long drives, I like riding in the car. You like the beach, I hate the ocean. That's not compatible. Eventually, we're going to bump heads on something. So now, I'm not saying that you have to continually be together forever, but this is something that I love, something I partake in, something I'm gonna do, and you hate it. How can that continually grow? Loving something that I love and you hate it.
That's true.
So it goes back to that compatibility factor.
That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah. And it goes back to, because one of the other things that was said when I was in the Nation of Islam was know thyself.
Yes.
And that's what you talk about,
Yes.
in the book.
Yes, and that's one of the premise going back even to our Kemetic culture.
Right.
Know who you are. That's where that comes from.
Right.
I am all, I am all. That all goes back to that. Yes, know who you are. Once you know who you are, now you connect with other people. I think a lot of times too, people present their representative.
I was gonna say that too. I was gonna ask about the representative, because
Yes.
it's not the real person.
Right. Why do people present their representative, especially when I first meet you? Why would I do that?
I don't know.
Right. It goes back to not being comfortable with yourself. If you are okay with who you are, why aren't you presenting who you really are? And I'm not talking about making yourself up. All that's a beautiful thing.
Right,
but if you're somebody who likes stuff, like you like sitting like this is just your cool, this is your normal you. Why would you first have a date and you're just like this the entire time? So what if I fall in love with the person who's like this? And now all of a sudden you like this. Now I'm like, why don't you sit up? You got lazy posture. So why not just be who you are?
Right, that's true.
Which goes back to knowing yourself, being okay with self, learning who you are.
Right.
All these things coincide in that same circle. It all starts from you, knowing who you are and what you want.
Right.
That to me is what creates a powerful relationship. Knowing who you are first. And being okay with who you are.
Right. Yes, that's true. Because society has, women, how we're supposed to look a certain way.
Yes.
And if we don't look that way, then we're not okay with who we are.
Yes. I just saw on Instagram, it was a man who married a woman who had no arms and no legs. There is somebody for everybody out here. Just be who you are. That's it. So when I do fall in love, I'm going to connect with somebody who loves me, not my representative.
Right.
Sometimes I look, because I do counseling sometime, right, with couples.
Right.
And I hear stuff like, I don't know what happened, man. We've been together 12 years. You know, she just woke up one day and she was a whole different person. And sometimes I say she woke up and she was her. It was 12 years of being a representative. And this one moment, for whatever reason, now she just want to be who she is.
I just got to be who I am.
So just be who you are from the gate.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, let me ask you this: what your struggle style?
Yes.
What is that?
So my mom had given me that name, Struggle.
Okay.
When I was 8.
Okay.
Right? So when I was younger, I had a stuttering issue, stuttering challenge. They thought I had a learning disability, right? I didn't learn like everyone else. I was very bored in school. School was boring. You know, it was everything normal, taught the same way. I'm a creative person. Right. So I'm processing information faster. So I'm bored. So I'm playing and doing all that stuff. So my mom said no matter how much I would struggle, I would always persevere, right? I ran into a teacher back then who was cutting edge, right? And she knew to teach me by touch, right? She knew to teach me by visual. And I like excel within like months time. I jumped like reading levels, my stuttering stopped immediately. And again, it went back to that thing of understanding how I process information, and I wasn't normal. And when I say normal, I'm talking about society's frame of normal.
Yes,
that wasn't me. So once they learned that, it was struggle. The styles part came, I've always been a poet. I always rapped ever since I was like 8 years old. I was into martial arts and I loved doing different styles. You know, for people who are our age, 5 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, the Kung Fu movies came on and they had different styles. So I learned a lot of martial arts styles, a lot of battling styles. So people started calling me Stylez. Yo, Stylez. So the two had combined, struggle, Stylez, and it just came together.
Okay, nice. Okay, so now as we close this, you had what really stuck. I mean, when I was reading this was the compatibility, as you have talked about, because I think that's so important.
Yes.
Because like when you want to be in a relationship, because you have a lot of women who are by themselves right now.
Yes.
And they want to be in a relationship.
Yes.
So if we want to be in a relationship, and a little bit of the stuff that we want is in that man, but if all of it is not in there, then that means that we won't be compatible.
That goes back to, again, what's your negotiable and non-negotiables.
Okay.
Right? If you want a man who is super affectionate, always up under you, don't really go out to party, then don't get with a man who you know loves to party every Friday and Saturday. Like that don't make sense. And in your mind, you're saying, I'm gonna make him stop.
Right.
He just loves going out partying every Friday and Saturday. Don't make a difference how old he is. That's what he loves. Right, so if you're a sister and you meet this man and you love all those qualities, but you don't like the fact he goes out every Friday, Saturday, that's his thing. That's how he releases from the world.
Right.
Why would you want to stop that? Because what most men will do, will stop. They'll stop it and they'll be miserable.
But they won't be happy.
And then that anger will go someplace else, whether it's drinking, whether it's internet. So you still won't be getting that connective attention that you desire because the compatibility is not there.
Right. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, okay, well, struggle. I am so happy that you came
thank you.
Today and provided this information for us. You know, because one of the main things that I remember, I had gone out to dinner by myself, and my daughter says to me, she says, well, you're not supposed to go out to dinner by yourself. So I'm saying, well, why not? Men do it all the time.
Right.
But I don't mind eating by myself.
Right.
And so she said she could never do that.
Right.
You know, because I guess because for society is saying that you're a woman and you're sitting at this table eating by yourself. There must be something wrong with her.
Yes. Also, I want to point out too, I want everyone to remember this. You attract what you vibrate. Most of the time when I ask women, what do you look for in a man? Well, I don't want no man that's lazy. I don't want no man. They tell me everything they don't want. And that's what they normally attract. Right? It's almost like when you want a particular car, all of a sudden, you walk outside, that's the only car you see. Because now you are doing what? Paying attention to what you want,
That is
not
true.
what you don't want. So when I recognize what I want, I'm going to see those particular things. And that's like opportunity. Opportunity is all around you. Misery is all around you. It all depends on what you want to pay attention to and focus on. So if I'm looking for my perfect man, right, or my perfect woman,
Right.
right, for the most part, we're talking about women. So if a woman is looking for her perfect man, you have to know what that means to you.
Right. I got to remember that.
So then when you go out, you will start to see this perfect man that you desire because you know what you want and that's what you're paying attention to. You're vibrating, you're accepting, you're ready for this thing.
Right.
So in our
Right.
old teaching, when the student is ready,
The teacher
will
appears.
appear.
Right.
When the
Okay.
woman is ready, her man will appear.
Oh, nice. I like that. I got to remember that
Yes.
too. I'm going to start doing that, what I want.
What you want.
Right. And you're right. And that's what you attract.
That's what you vibrate, you
Yes.
attract.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now, final question.
Yes.
What did you think about writing something for the men?
Well, this is for the men.
But it says the simplicity of the complex man, how to get it when you just don't get it.
Yes.
But it's designed for women.
It's designed for women to understand men.
Oh.
Right? This is
okay.
my belief. The woman is the everything. Right? The woman is here. Men are here. Right? Once the woman gets it together, everything else will fall in line. This is why they always attack the women. Always. I don't care if you look at history, they always attack because they know that women was the foundation. In today's society right now, who are they attacking? The women. They're telling you be promiscuous, go
That's
out here,
right,
live
yeah.
your best life, right?
Yeah.
Go out here, hoe around.
Right.
They're attacking the women because they know if they can destroy the woman, everything else falls apart. Now she frustrates the man don't want to be with her, right? The man doesn't have anything to protect, provide for, right? So now this whole system of chaos starts to furnish. So when I say this is for men, when the woman start to connect and get that thing going, everything else will fall in line. Everything else will fall in line. You have a woman who knows how to take care of a man. I love that phrase. You get a house, get a woman and she will make it a home. That's a fact.
Right.
Right? So once the woman starts to connect and get that, everything else is going to fall smack dead in line.
Well, the other statement that was said when I was in the Nation of Islam is that they said that heaven lies at the feet of a woman.
Yes, I believe that as well. I'm telling you, to me, the woman is the all. And this is always been my belief. Why else would nature, the Most High, Allah, God, Yahweh, whatever you want to call, why would the woman be the chosen species to bring forth life?
To nurture.
So she must be all that life encompasses. So once she is together, everything else will fall in line. Everything else will fall in line. So when I say that this is for the men, the women connect and get that together, all this stuff is going to flow right together.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much. I appreciate you. I didn't get into all the other stuff.
Well, very quickly, because I want to get into the other stuff. So real quickly. So I'm also a personal trainer, right? So I had met Miss Bay about a year ago.
Yes.
Right? Very powerful sister. The moment I met her, I felt her energy, etc. And this woman has done amazing things physically, right? And one of the big things that we worked on was the mental aspect. Now, she already had it together, dealing with a lot of the brothers and sisters coming home, giving back to that community, changing the universe and changing the world, right? And sometimes we get so caught up in that we kind of forget about ourselves, right?
Right.
So working hard as you've worked, putting things together hard, you look amazing, you're glowing.
Thank you.
You know, so you also deserve a lot of credit and energy as well. You know, so you are the continual inspiration behind the book, you know, continual inspiration behind brothers continually wanting to push. And you've always approached me from a feminine essence of goddess status. You know, so continue to do that and continue to build as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And someone had asked me a couple of days ago. There's like this big dumbbell. What do you call it? It's not the dumbbell. It's
kettlebell.
Called the kettlebell.
Right.
And so it was like about 50 pounds, right? And so they asked me, why can I lift it? I said, oh yeah, I picked this one up and I went and I got the other one. So I was carrying 100 pounds.
Yes.
And see, and people think that as we get older, we can't do that.
Yes.
But you taught me a whole lot. Yes, and thank you so much for that.
You.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And my name is Marion Bay, and thank you so much for coming in today to listen to our story about men and women's relationship and this brother who has told his story. And you can purchase his book on the simplicity of the complex man
at struggleestylez.com, and that's STRUGGLESTYLEZ.com.
Thank you very much and have a great day. And this is Black History Month, so please enjoy Black History Month. And in addition, this is the Love Month too, because this is the month of Valentine's Day.
Yes.
For those of you who celebrate it.
Yes.
Have a great day. Thank you.